Welcome to the grand final of Robot Wars, the Dutch Battles. Tonight, we will crown the first ever Dutch Robot Wars champion. Our 5 heat finalists plus a wildcard selected by the judges make a sensational 6 for tonight's lineup. Our first opening round melee sees Botwork, Bamm Bamm and Sater in action against one another. Botwork has a devastating spinning blade used to tremendous effect to help it get through its heat. Botwork is not only a strong design, but it has solid armour as well. It allowed it to withstand blows that its opponents weren't able to. In the heat final, Botwork would collide with Pika 2 and would prove super effective in combat, earning its place in tonight's grand final. Bamm Bamm has a massive club and a 360-degree rotating turret that allows it to attack opponents from all angles. It's not entirely flameproof as we just saw, but Bamm Bamm is a well-driven machine. With a solid weapon, that club interchangeable for an axe as we can see in the footage here. A little bit of luck brought Bamm Bamm a place in tonight's grand final. Bamm Bamm would defeat LIZZARD to earn its spot here tonight. LIZZARD selected as the wildcard by the judges. Sater is a cheeky, mischievous looking robot. Reminds me of Dietor a little bit, with an evil grin and deadly intentions. Sater has a lifting arm mounted on the front. It's nimble, it's nippy, it's manoeuvrable. It's demonic and deadly, and that's just how we like them here on Robot Wars. 3 fantastic competitors to open up the proceedings this evening, but we are about to say goodbye to one of them. Who is it going to be? We're about to find out as round 1 gets underway. Botwork needs to make use of its strong armour and decent mobility if it's going to win this battle, because its speed alone is not going to be enough. Bamm Bamm has to be a favourite to survive this round. Strong mobility, good weapon, excellent synergy of the machine. Sater really needs to make good use of its nimble, nippy manoeuvring. Sater's speed, its greatest advantage here. That lifting arm, not sure it's going to be enough. Team's giving a little wave for the audience here tonight. But will we wave goodbye to one of them at the claw of Sir Killalot? That remains to be seen. And riding on a wave of destruction is Shunt, the pushing power in the diamond axe. 3 robots enter this match. Only 1 will be eliminated. The other 2 will move on into the semi-final round, where they'll be paired up with the opposing winners from the other melee. Botwork there. Little bump on Sater. Didn't seem to do too much in the way of damage. Botwork quite sluggish, needs to get its weapon up to speed. Bamm Bamm swinging the axe. Sater taking a little bit of damage here. Sater strategy going for the pit release tire, lowering that pit. That is probably the wisest move. Sater giving up a little bit of weight and strength to its opponents here. But can it then push an opponent into the pit is the real question. A massive danger zone. Here's another Sir Killalot. You don't want to wander too close to the corner patrol zone. The CPZ, as we know, that means the house robots can come out and play and have their wicked way with you. And Sir Killalot won't hesitate to do so. Crowd really into this match. This is a very even contest so far. None of the 3 robots budging an inch. Oh, that blade just flicking again and again and again. There's one in the eye for Sater. But it looks like this one's going to go to the judges. As we reach the limit of the timer. Our panel of judges then will have to judge based on the criteria of style, control, damage and aggression. That's judges Martin Smith, Myra Wilson and Professor Noel Sharkey. This is a very even contest. It's going to be difficult for them to pick any one of these robots to eliminate. All three of them put on a strong showing. Ultimately, though, the judges do have to make a decision, which means we're going to have to say goodbye to Sater. There's not enough damage done by Sater, and a lot inflicted upon it, unfortunately. So Bamm Bamm and Botwork move on to the next round of the competition. Twisted Metal, LIZZARD and Slicer up next. Twisted Metal, a very impressive spinner, causing a lot of destruction and devastation in its heat. A compact design allows it extra maneuverability and speed and agility, not granted to all spinners of its ilk. One to watch in this contest, that's for sure, pulling apart opponents with relative ease. Slicer, truly ahead of the curve, as we mentioned in previous episodes. Slicer, a classic wedge robot, but with a rotating drum weapon, with an uppercut set of blades on it to send opponents flying and cause devastating damage to their undercarriage. Slicer is a nippy, maneuverable machine in spite of its large size. And LIZZARD was selected as the wildcard, putting on an impressive performance despite being variously torn to pieces throughout its heat. LIZZARD nonetheless proved a favourite with the crowd and with the judges, and its dogged determination have made it a fine choice for the wildcard here tonight, with its flail tail ready to lash out and give a licking to anyone that stands in the way of this LIZZARD. Surely the hot favourite to win this one has to be Twisted Metal. We've not seen very many spinners quite as destructive and manoeuvrable as this up to now. Another machine to watch out for in this one has to be Slicer. Its amazing design, a Robot Wars classic with a deadly new spin. And the wildcard LIZZARD, perhaps not the strongest or most destructive robot in this battle, or perhaps the most determined, with the heart of a champion, unwilling to give up in the face of adversity. And that counts for a lot, you better believe me. Quiet confidence on the face of the teams, giving a little wave to the fans. I'll tell you who's got some quiet confidence, and that's Shunt. Confidence, he can put a hole in your head with his axe. And when you're Sir Killalot, you don't need confidence. You just destroy everything that might question you instead. Activate is called as this second melee is underway. LIZZARD, probably the easy target for Twisted Metal, and already a bit's come off here. The destructive force of Twisted Metal, we've seen it before. Picking apart its opponents, bits going flying off him all over the arena. The thing with LIZZARD though, its tail is a regular target for its opponents, and yet it's not really a vital component. Granted, it's the weapon of the robot, but the robot will keep chugging along minus a tail. And as we've seen all too often in the past, if you can survive to the end of the fight, you might just go through on a judge's decision. Slicer, a brutal uppercut there underneath Twisted Metal. Slicer, an ingenious design. You've got two options really. You can face it head on and drive into the drum, or you can try and take it from the back, but then you'll be pulled up the treads and into the drum. Either way, you've got very little options for facing the Slicer. And coming out unscathed, Slicer now, going for the pit release tyre. Twisted Metal seems to be winding down here. They really are winding down, winding to a stop in fact, as the ref bot counts them out of the match. Well, this has to be the upset of the Robot Wars century. Sir Killalot, he's going to town on LIZZARD. Oh, don't cut his tail off, you horrible thing, you. Twisted Metal counted out of the match. An absolute upset if ever there was one. The blade is still going, but the robot itself has completely lost drive. Shunt now positioning them on the arena floor flipper. That is a shame for this team. I really thought they were going to make it all the way. But it just wasn't to be. Look at that. Up and over and round and down. Shunt now penetrating the top of the machine with that diamond tipped axe. And Killalot. Oh, I thought he was about to dispose of Twisted Metal down the pit. Shunt showing Sir Killalot how it's done. Oh, nearly going down the pit himself. Well, that's an upset victory for Slicer and LIZZARD. But congratulations to both teams. So here's how they line up in the semi-final. Slicer will face Botwork, but first, Bamm Bamm and LIZZARD are going to have a little rematch. The last time these two faced, it was in the Heat final. Bamm Bamm defeated LIZZARD to earn its place here tonight. That's the story of this contest. Can LIZZARD get revenge, or will it be 2-0 for Bamm Bamm? Well, Sir Killalot once again back in the arena. One robot, two robot, he'll take him on. And Shunt, Killalot's tag team partner practically this evening. A real grudge match feel to this one. LIZZARD needs revenge on Bamm Bamm. Certainly if it's going to stay in this competition, the flail tail spinning around there. I'm never very sure what damage that flail does to its opponent. It certainly looks very nice. Bamm Bamm moving a lot slower than usual here. Really playing catch-up with LIZZARD. And every time they get close, they're just getting whacked. Lifting arm there. Coming up a little bit too slow. Bamm Bamm has interchangeable weaponry. Oh, that's a good flip, though. Bamm Bamm has a club, an axe, a lifting arm. Obviously, LIZZARD has no self-righting mechanism, no SWEMEC. So a good flip that puts them on their back will completely knock them out of this competition. Smart strategy from Bamm Bamm. The problem is they now have to actually get that flip under LIZZARD. And LIZZARD aren't letting them. They're not allowing Bamm Bamm to get into position, and I think Bamm Bamm realises it as they drive into the pit release tyre, hoping that LIZZARD's going to go down the pit. Sir Killalot coming round into the CPZ, hoping to get a closer look at proceedings. Oh, a nice forward head-on charge from LIZZARD there. Solid aggression. This one has been a very close contest, it's got to be said. LIZZARD leading on aggression, if you ask me. I'm not certain what damage has been inflicted, but very little at all from Bamm Bamm. And Bamm Bamm seems to have been completely knocked out by LIZZARD. I guess the flail tail did a little more damage than I thought. Hush my mouth for not giving LIZZARD more credit. LIZZARD now toying with Bamm Bamm. The life coming back into Bamm Bamm, I'm not certain they've got drive in both sides. They seem to be going around in circles there, and LIZZARD will capitalise on that. Well, they will if they have any sense, anyway. Killalot giving a little flick back into the centre of the arena there. LIZZARD doing a victory lap. They think they've already won. And if RefBot counts Bamm Bamm out, they will have won. LIZZARD absolutely thrilled, overjoyed. They've got their revenge. And what's more, they've got a spot in the championship match. Bamm Bamm, a very impressive machine, but in the end, it was all for naught. Oh, look at that. It's like throwing a frisbee. It's like throwing a cake tin, isn't it? I don't know why you'd throw a cake tin, but I'm not going to question Sir Killalot. He can throw what he likes. And I think it's bye-bye Bamm Bamm as Sir Killalot drops them unceremoniously out of the arena. So long. LIZZARD through to the championship match. What a comeback. And so with one of our championship contenders crowned, it's time to determine, will they be joined by Slicer or Botwork? We've got a vertical spinner taking on a horizontal spinner in this contest. Always fun to watch what happens when those two elements collide. It's always fun to watch Shunt get the axe into a robot's head. Shunt joined by Sir Killalot, quelle surprise. He must be having a lot of fun himself. Slicer. Oh, certainly the more manoeuvrable and nippy of the robots. That first initial charge there. Sending Botwork up and over, and again the rotating drum. Huge uppercuts from those teeth on the barrel there. We always knew that Botwork's lack of speed and manoeuvrability was going to be an issue. Slicer eyeing up its prey here, going in for another shot. Merciless. Refbot dragging Botwork away from the arena side wall, but it looks like there's smoke coming out of the inside of Botwork. Something on fire, perhaps. Sir Killalot toying with Botwork now. Perhaps a little uncalled for. I don't think Sir Killalot should be out of the CPZ, and Refbot agrees, showing Killalot the yellow card. Underhanded conduct there by Killalot. Not that it's going to bother Slicer. Straight back in on the attack there. I mean, in Sir Killalot's defence, I suspect this one is entirely academic at this point. Slicer wants some more, though! They don't want to win by count-out! They want to win by knockout! Refbot, though, coming in now for the final countdown. And Sir Killalot and Shunt watch on like a pair of schoolyard bullies, just waiting for the go-ahead to tear apart the poor defenceless little Botwork. Ooh, Killalot, you meanie, you rotter, you scoundrel. You get him. Oh, look at the air on that. Botwork absolutely annihilated here. Completely lost drive now. Shunt swinging down with the axe. Shunt has had enough, and it's R.I.P. Botwork, which now doesn't work. Not anymore. Give us a wave. And so our grand final championship match is sealed. LIZZARD, the wildcard entrant, versus Slicer to determine the first ever Dutch champion of Robot Wars. An amazing encounter this promises to be. Two titanic warriors of the Robot Wars arena. Slicer with the rotating drum, LIZZARD with the flail tail, and the sheer will to win, the determination, the heart. Tell you who's not got a heart, that's Dead Metal with the pincers and circular saw blade. And the champion of all Roboteers' hearts is Matilda with the tusks and flywheel, here tonight for our championship match. And things are now underway. Slicer going in for a charge there, but LIZZARD dodges. Excellent driving and maneuverability from LIZZARD. LIZZARD intelligent enough to get in on the side of Slicer. Slicer can't do anything about a side-on attack. LIZZARD know it. Brilliant driving. Superb control. It's unlikely LIZZARD are going to be able to do much with the flail tail, it's got to be said. So simply facing Slicer head on with brute force and ignorance has got to be the way LIZZARD approaches this one. And they are giving it their all in this match, it's got to be said. The drum, though, just beating repeatedly against LIZZARD's face there. Dead metal in the CPZ there. Giving Slicer a little buzz with the saw. Oh, and a huge uppercut from Matilda there in the corner patrol zone. Look at this again. The air that LIZZARD got there before the force of gravity dragged them back down to earth. LIZZARD now getting it from all angles. Oh, Slicer underneath. That is not where you want a rotating drum spinner. LIZZARD refusing to give up, refusing to die. They've lost an eye. They've been losing them constantly throughout this competition. But they have the heart of a champion. Slicer, however, has the weaponry of a champion, and they're not afraid to put it to good use. These two not giving an inch. Scrapping in the CPZ now. Dead Metal grabs LIZZARD in its clutches. Oh, both eyes now gone from the face of LIZZARD. Slicer relentless on its assault. Both robots looking like they're wedged together at this point. Refbot coming in to separate them, as is one of his duties. This is such a close fight. LIZZARD looks to have lost a little bit of maneuverability there, but not immobile as the countdown clock begins. This one's going to go to the judges. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The championship battle of Series 1 of Dutch Robot Wars draws to a close with a judge's decision. What an amazing encounter that was. Two teams that had no interest in giving up or quitting. Remember, the judges are looking at style, control, damage and aggression. LIZZARD had incredible control. It was Slicer that brought all the damage, I think. Both teams seem equally aggressive. Could this fight be decided on style? Who's to say? All I know is I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. There can only be one winner of Robot Wars, one Dutch champion, and the judges have made their decision. Will it be the heart and soul, the determination of LIZZARD, the destructive power of Slicer? In the end, the first ever Dutch champion is Slicer. What an incredible contest and a well-fought, well-earned victory for Slicer. All that's left is to present them with their trophy. And for me, to wish you a fond farewell. Until next time, who knows what will happen next? It's all Dutch to me.